how to identify your competitors, who your competitors are. How can you know? How can you find them? How can you identify if these are real competitors, indirect competitors, just adjacent, or maybe they don't even matter? Those are the questions that we're going to address today. No BS session as usual here. I'm going to share with you what are the best and the most effective way to identify your competitors. How can you learn about the new ones that you might ignore? How to identify if a competitor is actually a direct one or not, and a few tips, a few best practices on how to do this effectively so you actually don't miss a new competitor when it pops up. For this, let's get started. So as usual on those sessions, no BS, we're going to review best practices, also some examples and inspiration as well. Here's what we're going to address today, what we should do and how to classify them as well. I've also picked a few examples that we're going to review all together using Panoramata. So the first three ones that I wanted to address here are the main ways that you're going to identify companies, and those are the classic ways of identifying your competitors. So you're going to be able to use SEA. That's pretty obvious. You just go on Google, you type your brand name and or your product, what you're selling, what your bestsellers are, and you'll see a bunch of companies appearing here and there. Those are companies that are basically selling the same things as you do. Those are usually competitors. They're specifically competitors if Google and SEA is one of your strong channels. If that's not one of your strong channels, that of course you care less. They might be indirect competitors because even if you're selling the same thing, maybe you're not selling it the same way. However, it's a great way to discover competitors and upcoming competitors as well, specifically if they're not just ranking there organically, but really paying to be in the sponsored results of Google, then it means that they have some budget for these specific queries, meaning that it's actually something that matters for them. So they should be considered as competitors. Same thing on the social ads. Once you do, and that's something that most business owners will experience at some point, they're being targeted for their competitors' ads because Facebook somehow thinks that they're interested in a specific range of product. This is one of the ways where you can discover competitors as well. There are plenty of ways using Panoramata, for instance, for you to search this and search the competitors that are mentioning the same keywords as you do. And that works as well in email marketing. There are a few things that I wanted to share during this specific session today. And I'm going to go here and review. I'm going to go here and check Panoramata. Let's go here and search for. I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can find and identify competitors on Panoramata. The first way is obviously through what we're calling the brand search on the platform. Pretty straightforward. Here you can access most of the companies that you're looking to track, and you can access them just here right away. So of course, you can look for a specific company name. Let's look for those. You're going to get those here right away. You can also look for an industry, type CBD, and you're going to be able to see all the companies selling CBD on the platform right away, and you have them all, and you can filter them by country, and that's a great way already to actually look for competitors. And that's great. But the thing that I wanted to add as well, and that directly relates with SEA, social ad, email marketing, and the others, is looking through the assets. Here, for instance, I'm going to use the email search on Panoramata as well. Here, I can have access to thousands and millions of emails sent. If I'm sending, again, CBD against, and I'm specialized in gummies for sleep, and that's my product, and I want to know who's really competing with me on the sleep CBD gummies market, which is kind of niche, and I want to know which company is actually addressing this, not just selling it on on their website, but really advertising it and insisting on this. I can just go here, type sleep. I'm going to see every single email mentioning sleep on the platform, and here I'm going to be able to say, okay, that's great, but I specifically want to see CBD, for instance. So I'm going to get every single company mentioning sleep that is also a CBD company, and I can tap gummies too, and see if the companies are changing or if there are more or new popping up as well. Here you go. Beam is actually not the case. Fields might be one of my biggest competitor here. You can see that they're doing this a lot, but you have a list of other companies doing this here already, and you can check and discover these companies right away on the platform. You can also see right away the actually real emails that they're sending for sleep and gummies CBD, and they're already all listed here. So it's a great way to, again, find competitors by the example, competitors that are actually selling and advertising and doubling down on the very same thing that you're selling as well. And those are your core direct competitors. And of course, on the platform, you can, of course, here and there access all their recent, you can also access all their data. So those are the three main ways: SEA, social ads, email marketing, because those are the three main acquisition channels that a company would use to actually acquire new customers, specifically in e-com, also on SaaS and most B2Bs, I'm going to say. So those are the three main acquisition channels you want to have a look at and see which competitors are actually competing with you using those channels. But again, if PR, if events, if affiliate marketing, in influencer marketing are your key acquisition channel, then you want to see which companies are you're competing with in your core acquisition channels as well. Another way to do this as well is to survey your customer. This is a question that I'd like to use sometime in some post-purchase survey emails, for instance. What would you use if we didn't exist? Those kind of questions just help you understand in the mind of your customers who they're putting you against with. The question is, it helps you define who you are. And that's the main thing that you should do when you're looking at who your competitors are as well. So for instance, which issue do you solve, for who, and how? So if you're fixing sleep issues for teenagers or for seniors or for Gen Z or for Gen Y, and how is basically the acquisition channel. Maybe you're doing this with social ads, maybe you're doing this with influencer marketing, maybe you're doing this differently. If you see a company that solves exactly the same thing you're doing for exactly the same target, using the exact same channels you're using, that's your core direct competitors. It's everything that you're doing at the same time, at the same level, having the same focus. And this is the most important thing that you should do here. And this is the most important competitors you should track. Thing is, you might have indirect competitors. Maybe someone is fixing sleep for Gen Z, but not using CBD gummies, but magnesium or an accessory for sleep or sleep masks or something. So it's indirect adjacent competitor. For someone who's looking to spend money to fix their sleeping issues, you might compete, but you're not offering the same solution. You're fixing the same problem with different solutions. Or even someone that is actually selling CBD gummies for sleep, but using a different acquisition channel. Those are kind of indirect competitors or just adjacent. Like you don't have the same focus. Or maybe they're actually selling it, but to seniors. And that's not the same target at all as Gen Z. So you won't compete directly, even if you're fixing the same issue the same way. So those are indirect competitors. You want to have a look at them because it's always interesting, but you're not going to compete directly with them. And that gives us to the last point here, which is follow the money. Try to understand when someone is spending money to fix this issue, how they're going to do this. And the question is, for some people, they might want to do things manually or hiring someone else to actually do it for them in a B2B or SaaS case. And it means that that is an adjacent competition, could be core direct as well. So those are the 6 main questions, 6 main things that you want to check when you're actually trying to understand who your competitors are, when you're trying to identify new potential competitors as well. And your goal is going to be able to classify them into these 3 categories here. Your core direct competitors, you're doing everything very much the same way. Indirect and adjacent, you might solve the issue a different way. You bring another solution, gummies versus sleep masks, for instance, for sleeping, or you're targeting two different audiences as well. One is targeting Gen Z, the other is targeting seniors. You're not going to compete directly. And then substitute and status quo. What would someone do if they're trying to fix this but not really picking a solution as well? That's something that you should consider, of course, too. And to show some examples here, I've selected a few examples directly from Panoramata, where I wanted to highlight exactly this, meaning, okay, here are some assets that exist that are tackling pretty much the same issue. Here on the left side, I have the exact example that we've taken, CBD, not CBD, sleep and stress. And you can see that you have a lot of different companies. This is a drink, this is a CBD gummy, this is a supplement, this is a mattress and sleep mask company as well. This is underwear to help you stay fresh at night. This is another supplement company as well. And all those companies are actually treating the same issue, but in different ways, so they don't really compete. Same thing here. I wanted to share this example here as well, because that's interesting when it comes to competition. Here, for instance, you can see that those two here are ads and emails for Valentine's Day as gifts. They're not selling the same thing at all, but right now you're competing as it's the follow the money rule. You're competing for Valentine's Day because it's a way to spend money, to gift someone, and you're fixing the exact same issue. I want to find a great gift for my loved one. And if you're using the same channel and targeting the exact same people, even if you're not selling at all the same thing, those are kind of competitors for Valentine's Day specifically, and that counts a lot. Same thing here for Mother's Day. Whether you're selling kitchenware, tech, or a lot of different stuff. Actually, this is a retailer. Well, those are actually competitors, because for gifting periods, a lot of companies are just becoming competitors right away. And that's just a bonus that I'm going to share in the description down below. But here you can see, I kind of love this company here and the emails that they're doing, because they're very creative in the comparison emails that they might send. So here you can see that they identify themselves and the kind of competitors that they identify themselves with. So you have the recess, and then you have electrolytes, and they just compare right away, telling you how much better they are than them. 3-in-1 versus just one. And same thing here. And you can see that they compare against electrolytes. They also compare against cocktails. And they're not the same thing. But if you follow the money correctly, then you see that people might spend money on their cocktails. Recess is coming and saying, okay, you should actually spend this money on us, and that's why. So they're not direct competitors, they're adjacent competitors, because Recess here with the electrolytes, with the average cocktails, is actually following the money, where Recess is a adaptogen drink. So it's not electrolytes and it's not cocktails, of course, either. But if you follow the money, you'll see that people are spending money on those, where they should spend money on Recess, and that's why it's important to make sure that they are, and that's why they're communicating about this in their email marketing strategy. I hope that session was helpful to help you identify your competitors. Again, those are the 6 main ways you're going to be able to identify which companies you're competing with. And the most 2 important rules are actually the ones that we end up with. I ended up with this one because they are the less obvious ones, but those are really the 2 rules that you should follow to really identify the companies that you're going to compete with. The core direct competitors, you probably already know them, or it's going to be obvious using these 2-3 most channels here. Indirect and adjacent, this is where things are becoming interesting, because it will give you more content IDs and more selling arguments, much more powerful than the one that you already have. Because if you follow the money correctly, if you define correctly who you are, what you're fixing for who and how, then it's going to be obvious and you're going to understand who you're actually in battle with, and it's going to help you strengthen your arguments, sell more, and grow. And that's everything that I can wish for you. Just make sure to check out this board has been made on Panoramata as well. Just a word about Panoramata. It's something that I've just shared just here, but we're the perfect platform to help you track your competitors and find the perfect marketing inspiration as well. You can track all your competitors automatically, email, ads, landing pages, pretty much everything that they're doing online for one specific reason, so you can make better marketing decisions faster and outperform your competitors effectively. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. Have an amazing day, and wherever you are in the world, take care. Bye-bye.